Good morning, everyone. How we doing today? Wednesday, July 15th. Let's call today a pretty good day. A lot of some good news on the health front. Some good news from Moderna. You got a blowout number from Goldman. So let's call today a good day. Remember, daily financial news. We need 130 thumbs up. Good news is Monday and Tuesday we got by it. I think we got 133 and 134. So let's continue that today through Friday. And we will take another hour of my Saturday and answer your questions. So I'm going to have faith in each and every one of you to give me those thumbs up. So let's start asking questions. What questions do you want me to review? If you've seen the last 5 weeks, which there is a playlist now if you want to go back and watch, I don't know what, 5 hours, maybe 4.5 hours of just straight question and answers, you can do that. I'm hoping that playlist really takes off because, again, it's answering your questions. And I think as we go through, my hope is the YouTube algorithm finds that playlist and just new investors just consume all of your questions. So keep them coming. Just leave them in the comments below. I will do what I've done the last 5 weeks. Look at them Friday evening and be ready to rock and roll. So again, remember, we need 130 thumbs up. So why don't we start with Moderna? That news actually broke yesterday after hours. You kind of knew what that meant. First, let's talk about what it is. So they had they published in a peer-reviewed, I was going to say newspaper, but that's not right, magazine. So that's a big difference than the last time they did this. And they said that all 45 patients in their phase 2 produced, what did they call it? They produced robust immune response or neutralizing antibodies. I mean, you can't get any better than 100%. So that is good news. They talked about, oh, thank you, it's journal, peer-reviewed journal, not newspaper. What is that? So again, it was 2 doses. I think it was over 4 weeks. But again, just good, if not great news. The real proof starts, kind of phase 3, record time frame, fastest ever, starts right around the corner, July 27th. So 12 days from now. 30,000 patients, phase 3 trial. Let's all hope for great results. And this is where we're going to try to find out if there's any kind of, I don't know, called side effects, kind of any downside. Do any healthy people get sick? All of those things. But again, this is the kind of stuff we are racing for, right? The bulls that are betting on airlines and cruise lines and all of those, you have made your bet. You are saying this vaccine is going to happen. It's going to happen this year, and we will be off to the races. So if that is your bet, you know what happens today, right? Airlines go up, cruise lines go up, all of those things. So I'd be shocked if they're not all up 5 to 7% today, just based on success of 45 patients. But again, I want this to work. I want Pfizer to work. I want it, I want everything to work. I want this behind us, right? This health event is not been good for the consumer psyche, and that's what I keep following. Then you got Goldman Sachs. You ever want to look at a blowout quarter? Look at what Goldman did. They earned $6.26 a share. $6. On an expectation of $3.78. That is a blowout. But let's remember, right? This is why all of this stuff is important. This is why I look every day. Got to remember, Goldman, and every bank for that matter, pretty much every company, set really low bars last quarter, right? First off, they pulled guidance, and they all worked to lower the bar because they wanted to make sure they can get over it. So just like yesterday in the bank reports, if you had a trading desk, you had some good numbers. They did 13.3 billion in revenue on an expectation of 9.8. They beat revenue by $3.5 billion. That's like 400 million a day or something. That can't be right. No, that's not 40 million. 40 million a day. I added a zero wrong. That's what happens when you put it in your head. So again, 3/4 of the revenue beat came from their trading investment banking. Uh, Bond trading was up 150%. Part of me wonders where that's coming from. As I sit here and look at these notes of mine and remembering yesterday's beat on bond trading, I'm wondering if Goldman is getting a little kicker from the Fed, right? I wonder if the Fed's buying these bonds through a trading desk. And these are just kind of layup purchases. As I sit here and say that out loud, that would not shock me. I don't know if we'll ever learn that. But yeah, calling a record beat, and if your buyer's the Fed, right? I would hope the Fed doesn't go through trading desks, but I don't know. I guess I'm going to look that up, see if I can find that out. And then also their equity trading desk beat by 46%. So again, if you had a trading desk, great. But if you're Wells Fargo and no trading desk or no operation, bad. So again, we will see tomorrow, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. If the trend holds, Morgan beats, Bank of America suffers. I mean, that's kind of what we've learned from Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see if that holds for Thursday. Mortgage rates set a record low this week. Total applications were actually down 6% week on week, but we're still 16% higher from last year, which still amazes me. We're up 16% from last year. So again, as all of you or many of you remind me, a mortgage app is not a mortgage approval. I get it. But again, it's an app to an app, right? So I will say that banks are far more picky this year than last year. That is absolutely true. So certainly going to get a lot more no's now than last year. But again, apps are up. The fight for the next Tesla manufacturing plant is in full force. Texas, a county just approved tax breaks if Tesla agrees to build a $1.1 billion factory there. I don't think there's any question that Tesla builds another factory, or frankly two. They probably do it in short order. The question is, do they really pull out of California? I don't know, right? They need that capacity right now. But yeah, you would certainly think Tesla never builds another factory in California, given what Elon Musk is saying. And again, it wouldn't shock me if Elon changed his domicile to Texas. That would save him a lot of personal income taxes, right? I think Elon's home is in LA or Southern California somewhere, so he's paying 13.3%. He simply changes that to Texas. That is all money he saves. So again, the rich could very quickly exit California, and it's in real force. That's been the biggest thing over the last 10 days is more and more people are seeing my discussion with Brian Lebo about Vegas and that kind of what the heck is going on? How can Vegas set a record? I'm getting more and more communications, specifically from Southern California, saying, yeah, I'm leaving. My neighbor left. It seems like the California exit is real and might be accelerating faster than I expected. So something to definitely watch. Remember Wells Fargo? We talked yesterday, and I think if you go back and listen to the Daily Financial News, I said that it looked like the Wells Fargo CEO was being purposefully negative. He was purposely talking down his company. I gave you an example of when that happened at a place I was 30 years ago. Well, got that one right as well. It looks like they've already started coming out and starting to talk it up, right? They're saying that we're going to cut $10 billion in expenses. He said the bank is fat and unhappy. That's not good. Right? If you're a Wells Fargo employee today, you're probably not feeling as secure in your job as you were yesterday. A $10 billion. And oh, by the way, it starts immediately. It starts in the second half of 2020, which is what the period we're in. So, yeah, 10 billion in expenses. And a lot of that's going to be headcount. I mean, That's going to be painful. Jamie Dimon had a great quote yesterday. I went through and read his earnings call. Basically saying these are very uncertain times, and even though we had a strong quarter and we've built a strong balance sheet, it's hard to anticipate what's coming because this is the first recession where incomes went up. And that's interesting, right? That's first off factually true. I actually did some math for you, and I want you to check my math. So I'm worried about the unemployment, the kicker, right? The $600 we've talked about a couple of times ending. And I started to do some math and it blew my mind. So check my math for me. So let's just say we have 20 million people on unemployment, right? Continuing unemployment. If those 20 million are all getting the $600 kicker, which I think they are, that is, where's my math? $12 billion in weekly stimulus. That's been going on for what? 12 quarters or 12 weeks? 12 weeks. 14 weeks, 15 weeks? That's $12 billion in stimulus that maybe you and I haven't appreciated because we're about to see that $12 billion sucked out of the economy in about 2 weeks. I wonder when that happens. I wonder what happens to the economy when you see $12 billion a week removed. There's a lot of people that are scraping by buying food on that. Some of them are paying their rent with that. Some of them are saving for that. I think this thing that I think I started talking about on Monday scares me. We have successfully hidden pain. There's certainly pain out there. I'm not trying to diminish the pain that has been felt, especially in small business. But the amount of pain we would have felt if we didn't have the federal $600 week kicker, the PPP loans, the Fed coming in and buying this and that at the bond windows, would have been 4x, 8x, 10x what we've been feeling. That's kind of frightening to think about. And I think we're weeks away from starting to uncover pain, and I don't know that we're ready for it. I mean, check my math. Tell me if I'm wrong, but 20 million people times $600 a week, I think that's 12 billion. And when you times 12 times 4, that's 48 billion a month. That can't be a drop in the bucket. That's real consumption. That's real currency. That's real stuff. So it's going to be interesting. More information, American Express, more proof that the quote unquote rich aren't spending, aren't doing anything, aren't traveling. Another downgrade because the rich aren't doing what the rich do and travel and do all these things. California, Florida, Texas keep being in the headlines. Again, I'm not this case nonsense that's going on. Yes, it's true. Cases aren't the problem. It's deaths. And the media has definitely got on the case counts. And I mean, I'm starting to see the U.S. map on everything I watch. There's red states and red meaning bad, like, oh, up, up, up. I'm wondering what a second lockdown is. I'm in California. That's probably no secret if you watch this channel. Our governor has gone backwards on lots of things already. LA is threatening to go on lockdown again. I think a second lockdown, like a real lockdown, would be very bad for consumer psychology, especially if the stimulus that we have used to limp through where we are now is gone. I can't fathom what that would look like. Crazy. So we did get some small, medium-sized banks report, right? We got the big boys going, but we also have U.S. Bank Corp and PNC. These are interesting at regional banks because they're more like Wells Fargo, right? U.S. Bank Corp, PNC don't have trading desks like Goldman. So it was interesting to see what they had. And while they increased their bad loan loss reserves, it wasn't nearly as much on a ratio as Wells Fargo, right? There was a concern that the regional banks would follow Wells Fargo and really increase their Q2 reserves exceeding their Q1. And at least as of to date, that did not happen, but we need to watch the regional banks. And then the last thing I saw is it looks like somebody did some rough math. I found this on Yahoo Finance that I call it a guesstimate. They call it an estimate. I think it's a guess. 22 million Americans have postponed a home purchase in the first 6 months of the year because of this health crisis. If that's true, there's really a large pool. If it's not 22, maybe it's 15, shoot, maybe it's 12 million. If that pent-up demand is really there, and we have this vaccine that we talked about at the very beginning from Moderna, the consumer feel better. If we have supply here and demand is already crushing supply, what happens when you add more demand? We have had truly amazing asset inflation. The stock market, I think the S&P is within a whisper of a record high. The NASDAQ has already had record highs. Housing could go up. And yet our economy has shrunk. It won't hit 2019 peak GDP. So interesting times. So that's what I got for you today. Again, remember, we need 130 thumbs up. We got 34 people watching and 9 thumbs up. Not a great ratio. I got a couple of views for you today. I think I got one at 9 and 3. That should be fun. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Bye.